Hi, this is Craig Dickson, and it's my pleasure to introduce the new JOL designer series of Jerry O'Connell wallets. JOL stands for Jerry O'Connell London. Jerry has been an underground legend for many, many years. This new designer series gave him an opportunity to incorporate some changes developed over those past 15 years. This DVD will detail many of the ins and outs and make it easier to learn some of the new handlings and provide many tips in the use of these three new wallets. It should be noted that as a bonus we have included the ID case and Wonder unit with the large Plus wallet and the ID case with the small Plus wallet. The No Palm wallet uses none of the accessories and is covered in this instructional DVD also. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. What you now own is one of the finest, most functional wallets in the world. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and to supplement the instructions, we thought it best to put in a little instructional DVD to cover some of the details that are kind of hard to read. So we're doing this just to supplement the instructions. If you're buying a card to wallet, hopefully you've had some experience, but even if you haven't, this should give you enough insight to be able to master this rather quickly. The new Plus wallets have received worldwide acclaim for functionality and design. Jerry has worked in some of his new thoughts into the new designer range, and I think you're really going to like it. Let's take a little walk around the wallet before we begin, and I'll show you some of the details and the features. The leather is incredible. I mean, I'm not only a representative of Jerry O'Connell, I'm one of his biggest fans. But the new leather and the designer silk lining, which this doesn't have, this is one of the original ones, but the new will have a beautiful designer silk lining with JOL and the designer logo on it, so you know it's an original Jerry O'Connell product. But this is the Plus wallet, which actually has a number of features. Number one, it is the fastest loading wallet in the industry. It is so easy to hit, and where the card enters is right above this little flap, and we'll get more into that later. But let's take a little bit of a look on the inside. What he's also done in designing these wallets over the years is made them not just a magic prop. They're designed for everyday use. There's plenty of room for money. There's plenty of room for credit cards. And if you were familiar with the old Plus wallet, there used to be a little sticky tape and a trap door to get in to load the sealed envelope into the two little chutes that load the card into the envelope. That's been eliminated, and it's actually a brilliant design. There's it's sort of a trifold now. There's a little door that opens up, revealing another place for more money or some cards or a packet trick. A window where you can load another packet trick or have a prediction card if you wish. And the window itself, which looks quite normal, is also the secret entrance to where the envelope, or now the new ID case, is loaded. Right now the ID case is loaded in there, and I'll show you how that works. And later we'll show you how to fit the ID case, the envelope, how to make the envelope, or you can find them. In the US, a number 6 coin envelope available from Staples, Office Max, works quite well. You just have to cut the bottom off, about an inch off the bottom, and that's the opening. But let me just show you how this works. This has the ID case loaded right now. That just closes, the trifold closes over that, and this is ready to go. The proper position for this is, sometimes people use it backwards, but the proper position, how this goes into your pocket, is always with the flap away from the entrance of the pocket. So if you can pull in on this, the wallet goes in, and the no palm feature is to the back, the flap is to the front. That puts it in the proper position. When you have a card palm, the palmed card comes over to the wallet, it gets loaded right into that chute, and because of the flap, it's a dream. There are no slides to get in the way, and in one motion the card comes out face down. Now, do not worry about getting the card all the way in. If you'll notice, the card isn't all the way in, okay? This is so easily done as you're opening the wallet. As you open the wallet, your index finger just hits this and pushes it all the way home. Don't make a big deal about it. When the wallet's in here, one finger just pushes that in. Now here's what happens with the ID card. This is actually a beautiful feature. It breaks away. You don't go in this way. What you would do is now go into I just wanted to show you where it was. Open the zipper, come inside, and remove this little ID case. When you turn it over, they see a face-down playing card. And you say, that would be pretty good if that were your card. And most people, I mean, almost the #1 response is like, yeah, right. And now you reach in and take out the card, and when you turn it over, it is the signed selection, and you have one heck of an effect. Now, the beauty about the ID case is if you don't wish to carry envelopes and reload an envelope, this loads back very, very fast, and it's reusable. What we've done with the new Designer Series Plus wallet is you get, and this was sold as an accessory, and will be sold as an accessory if you want more, but one comes with the wallet. There's also another bonus as the introductory, the Wonder Unit, and we'll get into that later. But let me just show you how to fit this. And it goes in so fast and so easy. Face down with the window facing down. All you do is just slightly buckle this with that flap open, and come in on an angle, and both little chutes go right inside. Push it up, close the flap, it's done. That's how easy it is to reload. So for restaurant magic, the table hopper, the trade show magician, where you're doing this over and over and over again, it's a dream come true. You just push it in, it's done, it's ready to go. Make sure you close the little zipper before you're ready for your next performance, and that's it. The wallet is now loaded, ready to go. It goes back in your pocket with the flap on the outer pocket out to the outer side of the jacket. The no palm feature is facing in, the flap is facing away from you. And again, the whole motion with the card palm, you come in, as you come in, it's just a natural motion to come in and remove the wallet and come straight out. Again, it's not all the way in, it's a simple matter to just use your finger, after it's out, opening it to push it in. That also, when you do that, pushes the ID case away from the two chutes. You don't even open that, you just come open the zip, reach inside, take out the ID case, and the signed card is inside the ID case face down, which people think, okay, he has a card in there, but when you take it out and show them the signed card with whatever presentation you're using, it's quite a spectacle, and it's quite, it takes them back. So that's the ID case, how to load it, very, very, very simple. This is each Plus wallet comes with the templates to make the envelopes if you wish. It's very simple. You can do this two ways. You can take a piece of Bristol board or matte board or shirt cardboard and just trace this onto it and cut it out so you have a little template. Then you take a piece of paper, just trace around and cut this out, and you have the template for an envelope. The way I've done it is I've actually scanned it into my computer and erased some of the type where you can take a piece of paper or the cardboard and scan it. So every time I want one, I just spit it out on the printer, or however many I want. Then this is folded up. The copy decks or rubber cement that's mentioned in the instructions goes along one edge. The rest you can seal up, all three other sides, and you'll see when you fold this, it becomes very apparent which sides have to be sealed, with a regular glue stick, a permanent adhesive. Rubber cement or copy decks, it works more when you coat two surfaces as a contact adhesive. Once this is made up and folded up, the last thing to stick is where the copy decks is, and to prevent it from sticking, and let me show you the made up envelope. This end over here is where the copy decks is. Everything else, every other surface is permanently sealed. Along this edge, the flap, and then this has the copy decks. To keep it from sealing to itself, you put in a little L-shaped piece of paper. And I'll show you why in a minute. This keeps it when it's folded flat. Now, because there's glue on one side and the other, it won't stick together. And this gets removed before you use the envelope. The last thing you do is put a little 30-degree fold in the bottom, and this helps take it out of the zipper later, and it also helps you identify which end has the glue. Let me show you how this loads into the wallet. Open up the little trap door. You just buckle this slightly with the paper still in it. And with the glue in here, it holds it in a lot better than this. There's no glue on here, so it's sliding away. That stays buckled open. And there's two little ears here. This just goes right over the two ears. Let me tilt this up so you can see it. And that just comes all the way home until you'll see that squared up. That's it. It's now in the wallet. Make sure this little fold is here. This is the point now, because you have the chutes inside holding the envelope open, you remove the little L-shaped piece of paper. And you're done. Close the little trap door, fold over the trifold extra section, and it's ready to go. It goes back into your pocket, as we said earlier, with this side towards your outer, and the no palm towards your body. Very, very simple, just like that. Now when you take a card, again, the same motion you use for the ID case, the card goes in, it's loaded in, and in one motion this comes out and it's done. And it happens, and that was slow so you could see this, but it happens that fast. As you go to open the wallet, your finger just hits here. This is in. The zipper opens. Now let me show you this coming out, and the reason that slight fold is there, because it's coming out on an angle, you'll actually see this little fold. It aids it in coming out so it doesn't catch on the zipper. This comes out, and because now the little ears are now out of this, this self-seals. This also tells you which end has the glue, so you can now very, very simply start the tear all the way across and leave that little tab sticking off, or tear it away if you want to get rid of the evidence, but no one has ever found it when I've been doing this. Open it up, let them reach in and take out the signed card, and you're done. I've used it for rings, I've used it for cards, I've used it for bills. Anything you want to load into the envelope loads like a dream, and it comes out of a sealed envelope which they can inspect if they wish, although as Charlie Miller said, don't run if they ain't chasing you. I don't say here, examine this regular, normal sealed envelope. That's, in my opinion, pretty stupid. We don't do that, but it is a sealed envelope, which makes it that much more of an amazing effect. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make the envelope and load it. There are quite a few things you can do with the no palm feature, and let me show you a couple of ways to load this. What you do is have a card selected, and you can shuffle and whatever, but you control the card to the top by your favorite method. So the selection is now on the top. Now, what's nice about this is you don't have to wear a jacket. Using the no palm feature, you load the card right in front of the spectator. What I've done over the years in doing this is, and I'll show you a different version of it, but let me just show you one load right in front. I get the card to the top. As the wallet is opening, my hand comes away. The wallet is tabled. The zipper is opened. You reach inside and pull out the selected card. And that's how fast it is. Let me sign one of these so you can actually see how fast this goes inside. I'm just going to put a big X across this and a little 0 so you know it's the same card. This gets shuffled back into the deck, controlled to the top. Make sure you always close the zip. But here's the first action. As the wallet opens, that's it. It was just loaded right in front of you into the wallet. And that's the way I do it. I'll show you a couple of alternate handlings. You reach inside, the card comes out, a little drama, turn it over, it is the signed card. What I've done with business cards, and we have Chamber of Commerce meet and greet or business after hours functions, and it's a great way to get commercial business from the companies in your area. I keep a stock of my business cards in the wallet. And at the cocktail party, they're there to network. It's a big way of getting business. You see a lot of financial planners. And if I see someone, Chase Morgan Stanley, I look at his little, everyone's wearing name badges to introduce themselves. I'll say, hi, hey, I see you're from Chase Morgan Stanley. I'm a performer, but I never say what I am because I don't want to say, hey, I'm a cheesy magician. You want to see a trick? No, I'm a performer, and I'm on the road quite often, and I have money to invest, and I'm looking for a good local financial planner. Do you have a card? He gives me his card, and what I note is something that's missing, a personal email address, a cell phone number. I said, because quite often it's off hours, not during your business hours. Is there any way I can email you from the road? Or I want him, the whole reason I do this is I want him to write something on the business card. I then add that to the stock of my business cards I've just removed from the wallet. And the same way I load the playing card, I reach in, open up the wallet, remove his business card, which he just personalized by writing something, say, that's interesting, a gentleman earlier gave me a business card. Is that your email address? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a magician, my name's Craig, here's my card, I'll be in touch. I've got his card, he's got mine. I didn't annoy him and take up his valuable time because he's there to do business, but he knows what I do. And I also have follow-up contact information for him, and he's going to remember who I am. It's a great way to hand out a card in that venue. So I've used that. So not just card to wallet, the no palm feature has become a big business getter. And it's gotten me a lot of corporate work just doing that one thing. Later on, you follow up with some of their functions. But it's a great way to hand out a business card without being over pushy and saying, hi, I'm a magician, here, take my card. I've never done that. I usually make them ask for the card. But in that way, it's a great way to hand it out. This is probably my favorite routine and use for the no palm feature in the Plus wallet. You have a card signed, and always have it signed because duplicates are so easy to come by. People will think it, and this dispels any possibility of a duplicate. Because a signed card winding up in a zippered compartment in a wallet is pretty astonishing. A card winding up in a wallet is pretty astonishing. But to prove it couldn't be a duplicate, always have it signed. Especially if you're working where people have alcohol also. Because sometimes they forget what card they picked, but they always remember their signature. Very important detail. They can lie about the card. They can't lie about the signature. So it's an important thing to keep you from getting into trouble and getting into your lying match with someone. You don't want to do that. When it's signed, you don't even have to say, is this your card? You just say, is this your signature? So it doesn't matter, and it gets you out of those sticky situations. But have the card signed, controlled to the top by your favorite method. Million ways, million books on that. And what I normally do and simply do is say, would you like to see this the fast way or the slow way? Whatever they say, it doesn't matter. I say, look, all I do is tap the deck and tap the box. And now a card seemingly has appeared under that box. You have probably the strongest moment of misdirection at this point because everybody focuses on that card thinking to themselves, no way, it couldn't be. While they're doing that, I just simply come together, come in a gesture and bring my hands apart. The card it's literally bang, it's done. And it comes right into the pelmet. The pelmet is the little flap on the back of the no palm side of the wallet. That is the no palm feature. And this is what's happening. It's just in a gesture. You just come across and back down. Of course, this is to the table. So this is what they see, virtually nothing, and it's just in a gesture. And the wallet is dropped to the table. The card won't fall out because it's hidden under that flap. They're all looking over here at the moment that's done anyway and say, would it be a miracle if that turned out to be your card? They turn it over, and it says, look in my wallet. You say, oh, okay, and open the wallet, and now there's another playing card visible. Would it be equally as amazing if this turned out to be your card? Now, I take it out for them. I don't want them fumbling with my wallet and moving it and possibly dislodging the card. And I say, would it be pretty good if that turned out to be your card? And then let them take it, and they turn it over, and it says, look in the zippered compartment. Well, now, for the first time, you open the zippered compartment, and I reach in and say, yes, there is a prediction in the zippered compartment. Would it be pretty good? Did you pick a red back card? Sure. So what you want is a little delay. And then slowly turn it over and say, is that your signature? And because it is, they have to say yes. And it is the card they chose. Bang, signed to zipper compartment. The beauty about this is you don't have to, if you've already done at one table the sealed envelope of the ID case and forgot to load it, instantly go into this because there's no preparation. This is done on the fly, almost impromptu, no preparation. You can do it over and over and over again on the fly, especially in a situation where you're not wearing a jacket and you have no pocket to go to. It makes it that you don't have to eliminate the card to wallet because you have no jacket to conceal the palm. It's done right out in the open. So that's a few uses and variations on the no palm feature in the wallet, my personal favorite, and that's it. The wallet has just about everything you could possibly think of in a wallet. I've never seen anything like it with that many features or possibilities. Nothing goes in my pocket unless it's really special that does only one thing. Pocket space is a premium. The JOL Designer Series new Plus wallet fits that bill. It holds a couple of packet tricks, all my money, all my credit cards, all my personal effects. I can do a mental effect. I carry a predictor all the time, card to sealed envelope, card to ID case, and no palm card to wallet or business card to wallet. There is one other, and I hate to give this up, but I will. So those are all the things the wallet does for card to wallet. There was another built-in feature that actually a customer pointed out, named Steve Banning, and it used a subtlety from Doc Hilford, who I later ran into and became pretty good friends with, and Doc, with his permission, said go ahead with his subtlety. But this makes a brilliant peek device also. You can have any information you want written on a blank playing card or a business card. That then is put inside the zipper compartment face down, just like that. It's in the zip face down. You never look at it. You take it back from the spectator once they've written it. I often draw a big circle and have them write a 2-digit number, a letter, a symbol, a simple drawing, tell them a geometric shape inside the circle. Now, this is the important part, and this was Doc's addition to this whole thing and his contribution. Watch my eyes. You take the wallet, and I'm going to show you two ways. First, you go for your breast pocket, and you miss. So now it is a perfectly natural gesture to have to look down to get this into the pocket. In that brief second that you look down to locate your pocket, you've glimpsed whatever is written on the card, because the no palm feature, it's right out the back. So it becomes the perfect peek device to gain information in a walk-around setting, in a hospitality suite using your business card, and then you let them keep it later. Another good reason to give them the business card. I had their prediction. Here's a souvenir for you. But it's simple. So I'm going to do that once again. The first time you miss your pocket, it is such a natural gesture to look down and do that. You've now got a full peek of whatever's sticking out the back. Alternate, now that's attributed to Doc Hilford. Second way of doing this, again, instead of going for the breast pocket or shirt pocket, see, that'll work if you're doing a shirt pocket, is go for your inside pocket. Now here, it's very natural for your eyes to gaze down at the pocket and go in. So you're going to do this to locate the pocket, and you're getting a full peek of whatever it is that goes back in your pocket. You can use this for one ahead in a mental epic routine. Tim Wenk had a beautiful crumpled up paper ball version, but you gain information secretly with virtually no extra device. It's all built into a wallet you already own for all the other things, but you've now got a perfect peek device and a couple of different variations, and those are the subtleties to use it so you're not opening a flap, gaining information. It's just you're putting it away. And it's a natural gesture to look down at your pocket to do it if you've missed, or look inside to put it back in. There's another really great use for the Plus wallet, and it's not a trick. It's using it as a utility device, a secret holdout. The no palm feature works brilliantly as a holdout, and your imagination can run wild with a number of things. But what you can do with this is secretly add a stack of cards, a number of cards, or even one card, a force card, to the top of a deck that's been in play, has been shuffled, handled by a number of people, right under their noses, like everything else. And it's a fun thing. My favorite use for it is doing McDonald aces with a shuffled deck and adding the 3 gaffs, if you know the routine, and I'm not going to go into that, right in front of them. And it's simple. Frank Garcia was a good friend, and this is stealing from some of his patter for the routine, but I thought it was really funny, and it's great entertainment. You start out and say, I'd like to show you a routine and some technique taught to me by a world-famous gambler. He was so famous, it was rumored in his lifetime that over $20 million had passed through his hands in winnings and losings. He was that good. Unfortunately, he died at the age of 12, but before he did, he showed me and taught me the following routine, and it was done like this. It was done with the 4 aces, and, oh, I'm sorry, I left the 4 aces in the wallet. I did this earlier. You reach in and remove the 4 aces from the wallet. As you're doing that, what you're actually doing, hidden in the pelmet underneath, were my 3 gaffed cards. Now they are just stolen onto the top of the pack as you're closing up the wallet. So they're added. I dropped the 4 aces right on top, moved the wallet out of the way. The routine went like this. There were 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. 3 cards went face up on card number 2. 3 more went face down on card number 3. 3 more went face up on card number 3, which sometimes could be construed as card number 4, and the final 3 went down on, on that, and on and on and on. That's the basic layout. You can go into the routine any way you want and sequence it, but that's how I got the 3 gaffed cards into play from a shuffle deck. And the whole reason for going to my wallet is I left the aces in from a previous routine. That's it. Just let your imagination run wild. You'll come up with a lot of other uses, but you can add cards on a whim and other devices, hold out other things, envelopes, to switch in for a bank night or anything you want. And I just thought I'd go into yet another use for the Plus wallet. One of the things that Jerry and I discussed when he introduced me to the new designer series was 2 new accessories that he had designed and come up with and had the prototypes, and then actually made some of them and brought them to a recent Blackpool convention, one being the ID case, which can be used as a replacement for the envelope, and it's reusable. And you've already seen some of that, and it's become my favorite. And the second is called the unit, or the Wonder Unit. When Jerry started to do a lot of thinking about confabulation, which uses a carbon inside of an envelope to make a duplicate, he came up with a little leather pad that replaced that and made this so easy. There have been other versions of it using thumbnail writers, triple coercion out of, I believe, 13 Steps to Mentalism, Corinda's book, and Practical and Animan's Practical Mental Magic. There are some triple prediction versions. Tarbell has a few. So the idea has been around for quite a while to do triple predictions, and there's some great themes on that. Just quickly, one I've always used at a holiday time is name a difficult relative to buy something for, and make it as absurd as possible, because everyone has that relative you hate or don't like very much. I don't want to say hate, it's a strong word, but you have to buy. Your mom says you got to buy something for Aunt Emmeline, the one that comes to your house with the dead fox hanging over her shoulders, the little claws, and scares the dickens out of your kids. But you have to buy her something, so you do. But then so first you go for the name, and I make it as funny as possible. Holiday themes are great. Second is set a budget. Everyone has a budget for each relative they have to spend, so you have them call out an amount they're going to spend on Aunt Emmeline. Say it's $2. And when you go to the dollar store or the pound store to buy Aunt Emmeline something for £1 to £2, what would you buy her? And the funnier it is, the better the routine. So as they're saying that, you open up the little pad, and this is actually held just like this in your hand. And if, Frank, you come in tight on that. It's held exactly in that position towards you, but let me show it open-wise, because there's a little thumb notch over here, and I'm going right into the handling also. And your thumb just goes right in there, and there's nothing to be seen. The note itself covers the other notch, and I'll get into why they're there in a second. But your finger covers that little notch. And you'll notice 2 pieces of paper. There's a folded note, and I'll lay this out on the table in a minute, but prediction number 1 goes right here next to that word. Prediction number 2, so the person's name would go here, the price would go there, and the actual item you're going to buy them would be there, or any 3 predictions or pieces of information they call out. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can either double write. I found it completely unnecessary, and so is Jerry. Just scribble something on this top pad, and I'll also ask for their initials, and I will double write that sometimes, or just scribble something there and then write it on the bottom over here. And you can have that worked into the note, and I'll explain it in just a second. But then, once they call out those three, with the pad facing you, you take the piece of paper out and fold it, or just table it for a moment. The pad now closes, and all you do is go into your pocket and put it away. But what's actually happening, and let me take this out so you can see, is it's going into the same chute for the card to wallet. It just gets pushed straight home, and again, like the card. Now here it doesn't matter because you're not taking your wallet out right away. It just goes to here and loaded to there. When you take this out of your wallet later, you push it the rest of the way home. So this is in your pocket, and the pad goes right there. You just recap. Say, okay, it's Christmas time. Aunt Emmeline's coming over. We had to buy something for her. We went out to Walmart. We spent our £2, and we bought her a shoehorn. You know, which is the more absurd, and you've got to see some of the stuff people call out. But you recap, and your initials are, and look at the paper like you're reading it, and they could be, you know, just absolute gobbledygook on the paper. And your initials are JR. That gets tabled again, and all attention is now off that, so it doesn't matter. That is not the routine. It doesn't matter what's on there. Nobody's even going to go for that paper. Make sure you pick it up later. You now go into your wallet. You say, you know, that's so funny because before I came over today, I had a premonition. And inside my wallet, and now that's where your finger for the first time just pops that sucker home. It goes all the way home. And I had the zipper open from earlier, but the zipper should be closed. You reach in. Now watch this. It's so beautiful. You just reach in, and because of those two little thumb notches that you saw earlier, you just pull this little folded note out of your wallet. That's it. Open the paper up, and we'll get a shot of this, and I haven't written anything on this. Prediction 1 would be right here, prediction 2 there, prediction 3 there. And what it says is, what Jerry wrote is, and there's a date on the top, and you can do it on your stationery. Hello everyone, while sitting in my living room today before the show, 3 thoughts came into my mind. I wrote them down. My first thought was blah, blah, blah. My second thought was blah, blah, blah. And my last thought was blah, 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 and signed your name. Now, I personally wouldn't use the words blah, blah, blah because it's rather boring as a presentation, but it should be, you know, the 3 items because you've just written them in. What I would do is, on my version, and this should all be handwritten once again, is earlier today I had a premonition that I had to go out and buy Aunt Emmeline a present. And being my favorite relative, I knew I had to spend a lot of money, and that sum was £2. And with that £2, I went to the pound store and bought her a shoehorn and a really ugly card, signed Craig R. Dickson, and that's it. And make, you know, work it in with your own performance style. Now, if you look at this and just play with the size, what it does is when it's folded, and you'll see it folded, it folds once, it folds twice. Now there's a slight overlap here, and that's for a reason. When you look at the other side, or you know, it can fit square. I mean, it can be the full size, but this is the size, and you'll see the paper. The actual width of this, when you look at this, and let me just pull out the Wonder Unit out of the trap door. Once it's folded, the width of the paper folded is exactly the width of the cover of the Wonder Unit. That goes in, let me turn this around, under this flap and under this flap. Okay, make sure it's under both flaps with the 3 spots where you're going to write your predictions there. And you'll notice it actually comes a little bit beyond the leather, and that's fine, a tiny bit, 1/8 of an inch. It makes it easier to get it out later. Now you can, what I suggested is get matching paper to Post-it notes. Post-it notes are really easy. You can either cut a little piece of paper to be economical. It tucks under this little strap here and under the flap so it doesn't go anywhere. Or if you use Post-it note, which has an adhesive on it, you can just merely stick them on and stick a few sheets in here. And now if you're going to do this over and over again, have the other notes ready to load in, but you'll have 6 or 7 Post-it notes or 3 Post-it notes. You don't want to put too many in because it makes the wallet thicker, but I would put at least 3, and you just write your note, tear it off so it looks like a little pad, and table it. So they never see this side. All they see is you holding it like this. Okay, this is the position the audience sees. You take the pad out of your pocket, you hold it like that, and your thumb goes right into that little notch, so they don't see that there's a notch. Write your 3 predictions. This then gets closed up. Your finger, covers that, and it comes right in and goes inside the wallet. This is how it hits, and you'll notice it's oriented the right way. If you, the zipper is going to be towards the seam over here, and you notice the thumb notch is there. So that's why it comes in right this way, goes in, and it's there. Don't worry about pushing it home. So that's just putting, to the audience, you're just putting the pad away, and it's in your pocket that way. You're just putting it away. It's not a move. You don't have to do it fast. You're just putting the pad away. Your piece of paper is on the table. Pick it up. Recap. So this is in your pocket. Recaps. Earlier today I had a premonition. I saw myself walking through a supermarket, and you could do it in a supermarket too. I knew I needed to buy converted rice, and the brand I wanted was Uncle Ben's, and today it was on sale for $1.79. Okay, so those can be, you can have someone do that. An imaginary tour through a supermarket. They go to the meat department, can be your first prediction. They bought chopped meat, and it was 3 pounds, 85 pence. So any kind of theme like that is fine. Put the pad away. You've written that down. You've written their initials. Recap, read it again. Now for the first time, take out your wallet. Your finger just pushes that home. You're done. Open the zip. Come inside. Because of the thumb notches, it's really easy to just take out the note. The note is now slowly opened. Turn it around and read it to them, and they get to keep this. So make sure you put your advertising on the top of the note. It's a real sneaky way of handing out a business card too. They're going to keep it because it's just it's a very, very stunning effect. But make something that they, a keepsake for them with your advertising on it, or just a note if you want to keep it really clean. You can do it either way, and that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the Wonder Unit. And as I said, we've included that with the Plus Wallet. So you get the Plus Wallet, this wonderful DVD, and don't throw rocks. And we put a lot of effort into the instructions and the ID case. And that's it. If there's any questions, both I and Jerry are always available online. Jerry's at jerryoconnelllondon.com. I'm at wizardcraft.com. Feel free to contact us, write to us anytime. We hope you enjoy this, and I'm sure you'll come up with a lot of other uses for this.